All right, Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. We're talking Boise State, Utah State, big one in the Mountain West, and nice enough here ahead of the game on Saturday night to join us before they traveled to Boise. Jarred Calhoun, the head coach at Utah State. Coach, always appreciate your time and willingness to come on with the enemies here in Boise. But how you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good, buddy. Thanks for having me, BJ, and enjoy listening and appreciate all your coverage for the Mountain West.
13-1 on the season, Coach. Having a heck of a year so far. I know we talked over the summer when I was doing my Lindy's magazine stuff, and it was funny. I was just reading back to what I wrote. I know I wasn't good, but I'm even worse than I thought I was at some of these predictions and things. But how 13-1? Just you're obviously playing very well right now. How do you feel about what you guys have done to this point?
Yeah, first of all, those predictions are hard to do in today's landscape with college basketball, right? I think even for the programs, but we kind of have a clear identity of guys we're trying to target. The style of play that we want to play. We wanted to make sure that we got better defensively. So lateral quickness was really, really critical to the defense. I think took our guys some time to figure it out, like all things. But I feel really good about where we're at. I think we're one of the few teams left in the country that celebrate each other's success. I think that, driven by our culture, we over me. I think all our former players, all our former coaches, we get these guys around our players, and the guys we bring into our program, they buy into team and what it means to wear a Utah State jersey. So we've got a huge test on Saturday. I think Leon's got a great group, very talented. We expect a very, very hard physical game.
Yeah, we'll get to the game here in a second, but I do want to talk about your team for another minute or two because you got some guys that deserve a lot of praise and a lot of attention, and certainly what MJ Collins is doing coming over from Vanderbilt. I mean, you mentioned finding guys that fit in, and he had a good year at Vanderbilt. Over 7 points, 20 minutes a game, was a key contributor, but you guys were able to bring him in, and now he's scoring over 20 points a game, doing some incredible. I was amazed, Coach. I saw he was shooting 46.9% from three-point range. I said that's got to be leading the country. I went and looked. Somehow there's 8 guys shooting better than 46.9% or whatever it is. But, I mean, he's one of the elite three-point shooters to this point in college basketball. 20 points a game, as I said, right there as a front runner in the early going for, player of the year in this conference. What can you say about MJ Collins and what he's done to lead you guys?
Yeah, probably not enough, to be honest with you, BJ. He's a wonderful person, great family, mom and dad, very supportive. Just really, really fit kind of how we play, right? I think so much about the portal and bringing players into your program is style of play and fit. I think the great coaches and programs have a style they want to recruit to. We have so many options in the portal, right? I hear so many coaches complaining about it. The reality of it is you get to choose from a lot of guys, right? And MJ was a no-brainer for us. Gary Clark was a no-brainer. Colby King has had big games for us, right? All of our transfers, Zach Keller, we've had really, really good production from our transfers over really a 4-year period, even going back to the Youngstown State days. So I think all of these kids have really fit to our style.
And Mason Falslove doesn't get enough credit either for what he's doing. You could say what you want about my predictions being bad, but I had Falslove as the Lindy's Magazine preseason player of the year. I know the league went with Bird in the preseason. I voted for Falslove. I thought Mason should have been on there, and he's, maybe not getting some of the attention because of what MJ's doing, or you mentioned Gary and Colby both averaging over 9 points a game as new guys coming in, but that steady guy there with Mason Falslove, and I know fans in Boise here know all too much about him and what he can do, but averaging 15 and a half a game, I believe, as well, and 37 steals. I mean, what can you say about having him back and being another key player for you too?
Yeah, I mean, him and Drake really anchor the defense along with Colby and MJ. Our perimeter's really pressuring the ball. I think what goes unnoticed with Mason is leadership. People aren't here day to day, right? Leadership inside programs are so critical. This guy has really grown up this year. 2 years ago, he learned from Darius Brown. Last year, he learned from Ian Martinez. So he's one of the main guys on our team that lead on a daily basis by example or vocal. He knows what winning looks like. He's averaged 27 wins for 2 years. He's an Aggie through and through, and he's been incredible. He really has. Scoring the ball, shooting the ball, distributing the ball. But the kid brings it every day, BJ. That's what a lot of people don't see.
Jarred Calhoun, our guest here on the pregame show, getting you set for Boise State and Utah State on Saturday night on Bronco Nation News. And Coach, I mean, last year, 26 wins, you get to the tournament, great first year, but coming back for year two and just another year to implement your style and get the players you want and know what you're looking at. I mean, how much more comfortable, different, I guess, what is this year like for you? Sitting, just having that extra year, the second year to kind of really build what you're wanting to build there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question, right? It's the same thing with everybody that owns a business or really in life. What do you want to accomplish going into year two? What did you take from last year? How can you get better as a leader? How can you hold guys more accountable? How can you get your bench better? What can you do schematically better? How can you manage your staff better, right? There's a lot that goes into running a college basketball program, that's for sure. This is high-level basketball, right? This is a league that has averaged 5 bids a year for 2 years. Not too many, people have the opportunity to coach at this level. So not wasting days, really trying to get better daily has been a big part, I think, of our success. I think I have one of the best staffs in the country, very connected. Everybody comes in, rolls up their sleeves, got great relationships with the players and great communicators. So I think you're always going to be better if you continue to grow and, just really work at it.
All right. Tell us about this Boise State team last year. You got them at home. Great game. You go to Boise. Obviously, it was a tough one for you, so kind of about the arena and the atmosphere there. And they're coming off a couple of tough losses. Coach Rice, with some comments, calling some players out and just a little uneasiness, unhappiness, I guess, in Bronco Nation with where they're at right now, sitting at 9-6. I assume you're going to get their best game of the season, though, tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the only thing that we can kind of control is what we can control. I feel like we've had 2 pretty good days of prep. We got to understand what certain guys can do. We've got to be obsessed with the details here the next 24 hours. It's going to start and end with physicality. Who can win the free throw line? Who can win the turnover margin, right? Those are going to be a lot of key areas. But, just Boise State in general, what Leon's been able to do, it's very, very hard to maintain the level of consistency that Coach Rice has done. He's probably been my, guy that I've called for a lot of questions about the Mountain West, whether it was in scheduling, whether it was in rev share, you name it. Leon Rice is a class act. He's always picked up the phone and answered my call when I was coming into the league. So I have a ton of respect. I think leadership at the top is really, really important. His staff is really good. He's got veteran guys. I think, he's got Buchanan that, if I had to vote, he's a first-team all-league guy. I think Carmichael. I think Meadows, obviously, is a beast. The 2 transfers that he's added, the freshman is tremendous. So they've played the 12th best schedule in the country. They're really, really good.
As a coach, when you see a team go through a tough loss or a loss or 2 right before you play them, does that always does that make you mad that they're going to come fired up, or do you say, okay, they're there for the taking now, they're struggling? How do you look at that the game or 2 before?
Yeah, you used to worry about, other things like that, I think, early on in your coaching career. But now I just try to stay present. I don't have social media. I don't really read a ton of articles. Occasionally I'll, read some of your stuff for guys that cover the Mountain West. But that's about it. I don't really consume myself with anybody's thoughts or, anybody else's teams. We have enough issues of our own. I can't worry about other teams' problems. So, but I got a lot of respect for their team. I mean, they went out in the non-league and really played one heck of a schedule.
So I know you're not going to give me your game plan or anything, but what did you see that Grand Canyon did that frustrated them that you would hope to do again?
I thought Bryce Drew did a tremendous job of mixing up defenses. When it works, you look like a great coach, but let's call it like it is. I think Boise missed a lot of open threes, a lot of layups. Sometimes that happens. I think they turned them over at times. I thought Grand Canyon played extremely hard, but really what it shows you is, defense has to travel in college basketball. I think Grand Canyon is one of the best defensive teams in our league. They have the ability to mix it up. They're very active, and really what it did for me is say, wow, in 2 weeks we got another hard road game at Grand Canyon.
So what do you make of this league, Coach? Final thing for you. I mean, there was so much criticism, all these bad losses and stuff early in the league, and you look up and you guys are top 20 in the net ranking, and San Diego State, everyone was wondering what's going on with them, and they're undefeated in the league and figuring things out, and New Mexico is obviously doing pretty well, and even like a Wyoming and some of these teams that maybe weren't expected to do a whole lot. I mean, it seems like there's going to be, not a lot of easy nights in this league. And when it's all said and done, this is still a team that they're a league that should be in position to get multiple teams here into the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question, BJ. Great points. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we're a multi-bid league. How many do we get? Do we get 3? Do we get 4? I'm not really sure, but I know this. It's getting harder and harder to maintain is the number of bids, right? When you have the Big Ten, the SEC, the Big East, the Big 12 spending, anywhere from $10 to $20 million, where the rest of us are, maybe 2, maybe 3. We're playing behind, right? Just from a talent standpoint. Then you put in the fact that they won't play you in the non-league, right? They won't do home and homes or even 2-for-1s anymore. So I think our league is highly underrated. I think you have teams that are vastly improving. I think the freshman class in this league is one of the best in the country. Every team I watch has an elite freshman. So I think it's a challenge, right, for not only the coaches, but the administration to step up the rev share, to step up the NIL, and continue to make us competitive on a national landscape, so we can battle the Atlantic 10, so we can battle some of these Power 4 teams to keep our players. That's the biggest struggle. That's the worry that we all have daily is, in the recruiting. But I do think the league, as you said, has come on strong over the last 3 weeks. I mean, Boise goes into Butler. They beat Butler. They beat St. Mary's. They got great wins. Same thing with New Mexico, beating VCU, just like us. So I think there's a lot of good wins that this league has had.
Yeah, and we'll enjoy the next couple of months, but I'm also excited about next year too, with Gonzaga coming in and you guys and the teams that are going over there. That's going to be one heck of a basketball league moving forward. I know, Coach, you just got off the practice court. You get ready to travel to Boise, so we'll let you go, but appreciate your time. And we did start a new Mountain West show too, so I know we may be bugging you at some point if you get a big win, maybe heck tomorrow night to jump on our Mountain West post-game show too. But we appreciate you for always being available with your time, and safe travels over to Boise, and look forward to seeing you at Extra Mile Arena tomorrow night, Coach.
You got it, buddy. Anytime. Thanks, BJ.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy.
Yep. Safe travels. We'll see you.